So that's the idea of the new generation of specialty coffee. It's more diversity, new varieties, new process, new control, new possibilities to manage the coffee, to try to explore the high potential of quality in those kind of beans.
This episode is proudly brought to you by Mapper Forward's workshop, It's Time to Become a Coffee Consultant. Learn how to diversify your revenue streams and create freedom from your day job while saying goodbye to that alarm clock forever by becoming a consultant within the coffee industry or directly to consumers who have shifted towards home brewing and home roasting. Protect your income from challenging times in the coffee value chain by taking this course today. Go to mapperforward.coffee/workshops or click the link in the show notes for details. Welcome to the Daily Coffee Pro by Mapper Forward, friends. I'm your host, Lee Safar, and this is unfortunately the last episode of what has been a fantastic series with Vini Estrela, the president of the BSCA. This series, we have been talking about the Brazilian specialty coffee market in 2025. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about some really fun stuff. We're going to be talking about the next generation of innovation in Brazilian specialty coffee. And I want to start this conversation with a story, Vini, because I wasn't really aware of this new direction that coffee farmers in Brazil were taking until I was at MICE in 2022. I think it was 2022, yeah. And yes, it was definitely 2022. And I was walking around with a friend of mine. Shout out to Marco from the DMCC. Marco and I were walking around and we saw these coffees that were at a stand, and someone just said, hey, you should taste these coffees. And so we started drinking them, and I said, that's a co-fermented coffee. It's an infused coffee. And he went, no, it's not. I went, bullshit, bro. That's 100% an infused coffee. And Marco went, for sure, that's an infused coffee. And he went, it's not at all. Oh, I don't believe you. He said, the producer's here. You can talk to him. Go and speak. You can find him at the Southland Merchants stand. So I walked straight over there and I said, who is the coffee producer that's creating this wizardry of these coffees that taste like infused coffees, but they're saying that they're not infused coffees? For sure, these are infused coffees. And they said, you're talking about Rafael Vinhal's coffee. And I said, I want to speak to the wizard who's creating these coffees. And Rafael came and had a conversation with me, and I said to him, I'm telling you, when I drank these coffees, 100% they taste like an infused coffee. And he said, Lee, you can come to my farm and look everywhere and watch how we do it. I promise you these are not infused coffees. This is a technology that we are working on in our farm to process coffee in a way that brings out the natural flavor in the coffee in a very different way than everything else that you've ever seen before. He said, this is a movement that's happening in Brazil. And these coffees, everyone that says to me, I want transformative coffees, I say to them, go to Felipe Croce and go to Rafael Vinhal. And it is mind-blowing. So, Vini, talk to us, help people understand what is this next generation of innovation that's happening with Brazilian specialty coffee.
Yeah, that's a really, really funny history, because that's the main reaction in every single place that we cup the Brazilian coffees, the next generation of Brazilian coffees. That's the main
Reaction?
behavior. Yeah, reaction.
Yeah.
The first one, that's not Brazil. Definitely. That's not Brazil.
That's what we were talking about, the myths,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's not Brazil.
Yeah.
And the second one, Okay, that's Brazil, but that's co-fermented or
Right.
infusionated coffee. In I To explain that, we should move back
Go back a step.
a decade, yeah, back step. In the past,
Mm-hmm.
when we start try to promote Brazilian coffee into the specialty coffee community, and that idea remains until today. The idea was no, only the washed coffees
Mm.
is a specialty.
Mm.
The naturals doesn't have
It's a
an
defect.
potential. Yeah, doesn't have potential to be specialty. So in 2010, 2000, we create the Cup of Excellence program in Brazil in 99.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2001, I start in Guatemala and become a world-class program called Cup of Excellence that we are very, very proud. And create the Alliance for Cup of Excellence, an independent institution that has the role to promote the Cup of Excellence competitions
Mm-hmm.
across the world. And in 2010, we proposed to them to add naturals as one of the possibilities in a Cup of Excellence, because we would like to prove that naturals coffees could be a really good coffee, even the washed one. And the Brazilians starts to create process, a pulped natural that was created here, trying to add more value and add more flavors than the chocolate and caramel and the body that
Mm-hmm.
was really, really traditional and classic for the Brazilians coffees. And to add more acidity, to add more sweet, more complex flavors. And in that uh, moment, more than 5 years, 6 or 7 years ago, the Brazilians start to new process in a fermentation way using yeast from coffee or to manage in a more professional way uh, the
Processing.
standards, yeah,
Right.
in processing. For
Controlled
example,
environment.
to control the environment. The coffee reaches from 16% of mouse
Moisture.
humidity,
Mm-hmm.
moisture, and so let's try to reach 11% in a different way with more technology, and try to know more about the process and the quality and mapping and presenting new coffees because the Cup of Excellence in Brazil is going crazy,
Yeah.
and the
Wow.
people starts uh, to prepare a lot for the Cup of Excellence and start to learn with those kind of process. Uh, some days before, I was talking with a BSCA member
Mm-hmm.
that creates a facility to prepare coffee in a very, very high potential quality using air conditioning system, heating, so controlling absolutely everything. Drying coffee in a room in a control of all the standards.
Wow.
And try to innovate
Mm.
and to add more value in some kind of lots. So the Brazilian starts a lot in a very innovative way to process coffee. And we proposed for a Cup of Excellence 2 years ago to split, to separate the competition between three different categories. The naturals,
Mm-hmm.
the the washed, the semi-washed, the honey,
Mm-hmm.
pulped natural coffees, the second categories, and the third one that we call experimentals. It's not experimentals for kind of experience for not tested process. No, those coffees pass for a very innovative way in processing that aim to potentialize the natural flavor from the coffee. So if you taste, for example, uh, a fruity, a very fruity in a Brazilian coffee, that kind of flavor and potential has to be as a natural coffee in Brazil. But
Mm-hmm.
you add a process like a fermentation or a different way to dry the coffee that potentialize those
It,
sensor profile the coffee, transforming that and giving more punch to that.
right.
And that's the idea behind that. We are not stimulate the Brazilian coffees in those kind of process to co-fermentate or to infusionate coffee, because we think we are adding more with those process, the infusionated, the
Mm-hmm.
infusion one and the co-fermented one. You add uh, flavors in a more artificial way and not by the coffee. You're not potentializing something that exists, that
Right.
has in the coffee. So that's the idea of the new generation of specialty coffee. It's more diversity, new varieties, new process, new control, new possibilities to manage the coffee, to try to explore the high potential of quality in those kind of beans.
So it sounds like what you're saying is that the Brazilian specialty coffee market is looking to diversify further from this like generation of co-fermented coffees that has been very popular amongst consumers. And what I hear you saying is the way that you guys are doing that is by you're looking to maximize the potential, the natural potential in the coffee by being innovative with the varieties that you choose, with the regenerative practices that can bring out the best in that flavor, by controlling the environment that you're using to process and ferment those coffees, by selecting the yeast strains very specifically, by working with the natural elements of the coffee so that you get the maximum potential intentionally. It sounds like intentionality is an important part of this. You're deliberately trying to aim for something by using the innovation that you guys, much like Raphael was doing with his coffees, that you're trying to draw out the maximum potential in that coffee. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, for sure. That's the idea, to maximize
The potential.
the experience, the potential of the coffee, creating a new experience to the consumer. To add more flavors, to present new coffees to the market, and not simple fermentate or infusionate the coffee, but works with the natural potential of those coffees.
How do coffees like that exist in a market like the co-fermented and infused coffees and get separated out? I assume there's going to be a lot of confusion, right?
Yeah, as we as BSCA has a really clear opinion about that. The infusionated coffee and the co-fermented one, they are mixed beverage based on coffee.
Mm-hmm.
They are not a specialty coffee.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. For
So,
us,
so you don't
infusionated
see it at
coffee,
all as
no. The coffee,
co-fermented. Co-fermented,
yeah.
still not specialty coffee.
No. For us, no.
Okay.
In our certification, the
Uh-huh.
BSCA certification, we are not allowed infusionated or a co-fermented coffee. And even in the Cup of Excellence program in Brazil, when we identify some infusionated coffee, we separate that and
disqualify it?
those coffee, yeah, to qualify,
Okay.
or those coffees does not go
In the
into the
competition.
finals. Yeah.
Okay. So help me understand something. I think it would be very easy, as we've seen in competitions around the world, that people are assuming because something tastes, much like when I tasted Raphael's coffee, I thought, and Marco and I we know coffee. We've been doing it for a long time. And we thought for sure these were infused coffees. And they were not infused coffees. So what happens if a producer says this is absolutely not a co-fermented coffee? It is not an infused coffee. How do you figure that out? Because in a lot of competitions, they have accused competitors of using co-fermented or infused coffees, and the competitor said it was absolutely not that. How do you handle that in the BSCA?
Yeah. We split those coffee and did some kind of tests to try to find an element that proved or not those kind of coffee, like a chromatography or other scientific tests to those coffees. But it's quite easier to see, because a co-fermented coffee, you taste only that very powerful
Fruit.
flavor. Yeah, fruit. For example, if you co-fermentate with mango,
Mm-hmm.
it's a mango coffee, you probably will see and taste mango
Right.
in a very, very, very powerful way.
Mm-hmm.
In a experimental process, for example, you see mango,
Passion
yellow
fruit.
fruit,
Mm.
passion fruits, a very complex
Okay.
situation, and you feel coffee in the first, the second complex flavors, even for the infusionated one. When, for example, when we open green coffee in a infusionated way, the green coffee smells a lot.
Mm.
Those flavors, and the attribute will be only the cinnamon, only the mango.
Mm.
For that reason, we are not comfortable to call those co-fermentation and infusionated coffees as a specialty coffee,
Mm. Okay.
because you see only one attribute. It's the same to prepare a drink in your home that you will have a coconut water
And coffee.
and 2 or
Mm-hmm.
3 cups of coffee and drink.
Mm-hmm.
You will taste coconut and coffee,
Mm.
but coconut in the first,
Yeah.
coffee in second.
You
That's the
know,
main difference
the
between
reason
those.
I ask is because Shahan Yeretzian from Zor came on this podcast a few years ago after he was quoted in an article from Perfect Daily Grind, where he had said that a member of the specialty coffee industry had got these coffees tested and it was shown that they were infused coffees. And I said to Shahan, listen, I don't know of any actual test that does that. Is there a test? And he said it on this podcast. No, there is no test. You can do tests that will show you if there are impurities that are showing up, like essential oils and whatnot. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about co-fermented coffees, particularly where where they're being mistaken for things, and there are members of this industry that are saying that there are tests that can absolutely tell you if a coffee is infused or if a coffee is co-fermented. Those tests do not exist, folks. They're not real tests. But there are ways, if I'm understanding you correctly, Vinny, that you guys at the BSCA are qualifying coffees that people are telling you that they're not co-fermented, and you guys can figure out that they are co-fermented in other ways, correct?
Yeah. We combine we combine tests.
Yeah.
There's no one single
test. Yeah.
and one test. We combine different tests to try to reach there's no infusionated coffee. And in some case the we will still not 100% sure.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, in some cases, yes. I am be very honest with you. In some cases, we remain 50% of our people there's infusionated, and 50% of our people no, there's not. And we run tests.
Wow.
Inconclusive. That's the way that we are educating our farmers and our cuppers. There's no problem to be a co-fermented.
No, there's a lot of demand for it in the market.
Yeah. The question is there a specialty coffee or not? In our point of view, there's no. But there are market for that.
It's a huge market for it.
Yeah. Even, for example, I drink an espresso. If I place an espresso into a coconut juice or coconut water, remains an espresso or not? It's a different drink.
It's delicious.
Beverage. Yeah, it's still delicious.
And
it's still
very
delicious.
refreshing.
Has a lot of, very
But now
refreshing.
it's a cocktail.
Yeah, but it's different. It's not an espresso. It's the same. Right? If you co-fermentate it, is that a specialty coffee? No, it's a coffee. A drink and a cocktail with coffee or a different coffee. And it's still market for that.
What I really like is that it's clearly defined. More than anything, I like the fact that nobody has to agree with it or disagree with it. This is the rule. This is the very clear rule that you guys have as the BSCA. If people want to have their coffee certified by you as specialty, you have very clear guidelines as to what is specialty and what is not specialty. And I think that that's very helpful for your members, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's the definition.
Yeah, awesome.
Infusionated, not. And if you do an infusionated coffee, okay. Place infusionated coffee.
Yeah, just write it on there. Be transparent.
Right on that. Yeah, be transparent. Yeah, be honest
Mm-hmm.
with the coffee community. and you still have consumers and still have market for that. And that's not a question of good or bad quality. There's only a different product.
Mm. Vini, this has been a delightful conversation. I'm so glad we finally got to do this, and I can't wait for us to do this again. I hope that you'll come back again soon.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to discuss those very, very important topics for the specialty coffee community also. And I hopefully we have another opportunities to meet and to have a conversation, and even in Brazil.
Inshallah.
That
I really hope so. I really hope so.
okay.
Will you do me a favor, Vini?
Yeah.
At the end of every episode, at the end of every series, we ask the guests to do peace, love, and peanut butter. Will you do peace, love, and peanut butter for me?
Yeah, for sure.
Go for it.
Let's peace and butter for peace for all the people.
Inshallah. Peace, love, and peanut butter, everybody. Have
Yeah.
an amazing rest of your day. Bye. I really hope you enjoyed this episode, friends. Please don't forget to show us some love by subscribing, liking, commenting, and most of all, sharing this podcast with your friends. Check the show notes for links, including our sponsors and our Patreon. And stay tuned for more great conversations on the Daily Coffee Pro by Map It Forward.